Good afternoon, Namaste to all dear learners. I, Dr. Mahesh Singh, Professor, Plant Pathology, College of Agricultural Sciences, Tirthankar Mahabir University, Muradabad, Uttar Pradesh. Welcome you all at NIOS live studio at NIOS. And under this, today we will discuss the very important topic, safe use of pesticide, their handling, application, as well as how to store. Dear learners, wishing you a very happy World Environment Day. Hope you all are very connect with environment and wishing again very happy Environment Day. Dear learners, the today objective for the session is the how to use basically safe and handling the pesticide. The first objective is to understand why it is important to use pesticides safely, and what are the basically how to wear and what are wear to stay safe when using pesticide, and next is to clean, how to mix and spray pesticide carefully, and next is to know where and how to store pesticides safely, and to understand what problems if you have, then how you happen if pesticide are used incorrectly, then how to mitigate this problem. So we will discuss this topic in detail, and dear learners, you all are very aware about the pesticide. Basically pesticides are the chemical or biological substances that are used to kill or control or repel somehow the pest. Then questions are arises, what are the pests? Basically pests are organisms that can damage your crops, spread diseases, and basically they causes harm to human as well as animals, and they can create the overall detrimental effect of your environment as well as your produce. So these are the pesticides, and basically these pests may include insects, weeds, fungi, rodents, bacteria, nematode, viruses, etc. So these are the pests, and the pesticide, basically these are the chemicals or biological substances that kill these pests. So dear learners, the importance of pesticide in agriculture, you all are aware about the pesticide are very important nowadays also, because there are so many problems creating insect pest as well as weeds problem, fungal problem, bacterial problems, are so many other problems are also in agriculture as well as some other form. So that's why it's very important in agriculture, but how you will use safely, this is the very important. So we will discuss in detail about the pesticide. Basically pesticides are vital tools in modern agriculture that helps to protect your crops, that they improve your yield as well as they ensure the food security. They helps our food security also. They are substances used to kill or control, as I already told, the harmful pests such as insects, weeds, fungi, rodents, and other organisms that damage the crops and reduce farm productivity, and they reduce the losses. Basically the effective pest control leads to higher yield and minimizing the pest harvest losses. So basically pesticides are the things which minimize the post harvest losses, and they increase your overall yield, and the economic benefits for to the farmers also, because they reduce the labor cost, as well as they control the weeds in your farm, as well as they reduce the pest severity as well as disease severity also, and increase marketable produce, and boosting the farm income as well. Dear learners, the types of pesticide, basically on the basis of the pesticide, their mode of action, they are contact pesticide, and the work by the touching. The contact pesticides they work by the touching pests, and they have the limited residual action, and it required the careful handling to avoid exposure. For example, the chlorpyrifos, you are aware, I think, about this pesticide, and it is generally used for the termites and the caterpillars, and they are toxic on the contact. So this is the one of the example of the contact pesticide. And the next is malathion. It is also common pesticide which are used in the basically fruits crop to repel or kill the aphids, as well as mosquito control also. And carbaryl, it is a broad spectrum type of insecticide which are used for vegetable and fruit trees as well. And on other pesticide is systemic pesticide, and these are the pesticide basically absorbed by the plants, and they affect the pest and the feeding on them, as they pose the risk of the misuse, especially with the residues. And for example, the imidacloprid, this is the used against sucking insect pest like whiteflies and aphids in cotton as well as vegetable also. And next is acifate. It is also applied to control chewing and sucking type of insect pest in vegetable and some other crops as well. And next is thimethoxam. It is used for the seed treatment basically, and so there are different types of seed treatment used, and you can also use as a foliar spray in cereal and pulses as well. And on the basis of their mode of action, another fungicide type of fungicide is fumigants. Fumigants is used as a type of as a means of the gases to control the soil borne pathogens basically, or insect, and the storage pest as well. And they have the high inhalation hazard and damaging the strict protective measures. Dear learners, these are the some examples like aluminum phosphide, and it is a very highly toxic, and that they release the phosphine gas, and it is used for basically stored grain insect pest. And methyl bromide, it is also highly toxic insecticide which is basically formerly used for the soil fumigation in nurseries, and now restricted in many countries, but it is a very high toxicity. And the sulfuryl fluoride, and it is used for the warehouse to control the termites and beetles as well. And the next, on the basis of their nature, the insecticides are basically they kill the controlled insect pest as well as the common insect control like caterpillar, aphids, whiteflies, beetles. For example, malathion and cypermethrin, imidacloprid, these are the insecticide. They are basically killed to control the broad spectrum of the insect pest, and those are harmful to our crops. And the herbicide, you can also synonyms of the herbicide is weedicide, And what they do, basically they kill the unwanted plants, that is weeds, in your common area or field, or whatever you want to repel the weeds, remove the weeds. You can use this type of weedicide, and you can compete with the they can compete with the crops, and they can kill also unwanted plants. And the common weeds control, like grasses, broadleaf weeds, for example, glyphosate, 2,4-D, atrazine, etc. These are the few examples of the herbicides. And next is fungicide. I think you all are aware about the fungicide, and I have given some examples of the fungicide. Basically, they can prevent or treat the fungal disease in crops, trees, plants, or seeds, grain also. And you can common diseases to control, like rust, blight, mildew, and other examples of this pesticide, fungicide is mancozeb, carbendazim, triazole, etc. And next one is rodenticide. Rodenticide, they are basically to kill or repel rats, mice, or other rodents in your farm, store, godowns, and other places also. And basically the examples of the rodenticide is zinc phosphide, bromadione, etc. And nematicide. Next is nematicide. Nematicide, dear learners, you all I think aware about the nematodes. They are basically thread-like structure of the microscopic organism, or worm-like structure, and they found basically rhizosphere area of the plants, and they can they can improve the root health as well as nutrient uptake also. And the examples of the nematicide are carbafuran, aldicarb, etc. And next is bactericide. Dear learners, bactericide are the chemical, those are harmful to or killed bacteria in that is infect the plant. And the use for bacterial blight, wilts, canker, etc. And the some example of the bactericide is copper oxychloride, streptomycin, tetracycline, etc. And next is acaricides. Basically they kill the ticks and mites. Those are damage on the leaves and fruits as well. And basically the common pest they can control, like red spider mites, yellow mites, etc. And the examples of the acaricides are propargite and dicophol. And next is molluscicide. Actually molluscicide, in that is kill the snails, slugs, as well as the snail slugs. Basically they are also responsible for feeding on the plants part, leafy vegetables as well. And basically in the paddy fields, vegetable crops, they are basically found. And you can use the metaldehyde as well as niclosamide for the killing the molluscicide. Dear learners, you know about the hazards of the misuse of the pesticide. Basically so many hazards are if you use the basically without any dose or excess of the dose. You will find the so many hazardous effect on your environment, human health, your crops, your soil health, etc. That's why you have to use proper insecticide as well as proper dose of the insecticide. So we will discuss about the how and what are the harmful effect or hazardous effect if you use or farmers misuse the pesticide. So dear learners, first harm to the basically humans as well as animals. The direct exposure during the mixing, spraying or storage condition, they can cause the skin rashes, eye irritation, breathing problem, or even serious poisoning as well. So long term exposure may leads to the cancer, nervous system failure, as well as the reproductive disorder also. And accidental ingestion, if done, then they can use of the expired or the banned pesticide can also be fatal to the human as well as the livestock also. And they can also fatal to the livestock, your pets, your wildlife. They can be the poison to the contaminated feed or water or plants also. And your soil and water will also be polluted if you use the or excess amount or misuse of the pesticide. Basically, overuse of or careless disposal of the pesticide contaminated soil, they can affect your soil as well as the beneficial organism may also kill, like earthworm and other microbes may also be killed if you use excess dose of the pesticide. Rainwater can carry the pesticide into ponds, rivers, groundwater. They can causing your water pollution. And polluted water sources can also harm your aquatic life like fish, frog, etc. And it enter to the human food chain also. They can affect the long term soil fertility as well as the water quality they can reduce. And the development of the pest resistance, if you use the excess quantity or excess dose of the pesticide continuously, they can also develop the pest resistance. And repeated use of the same pesticide that leads to the pest that becoming the resistance, it meaning the pesticide no longer works on that particular insect pest or diseases. And they can create the super pests, and they are the harder and more expensive to control that kind of the insect pest and diseases. And the farmers then they have to use higher dose or stronger chemical pesticide, which increase the cost as well as environmental risk also. And resistance, they can reduce the effectiveness of the integrated pest management, that is IPM programs. And if you use the high doses or the misuse of the pesticide, they can also harm to the beneficial insect and biodiversity as well. Non-target organism like honeybee, butterflies, ladybug beetles and birds, as well as other beneficial insect and animals, they may kill if you use the higher dose of the insecticide or misuse of insecticide. This leads to the loss of biodiversity as well, and it disturbs the natural condition or the natural pest control, and it is the pollinator that affect like fruits of the seed production may also the chain damage. And the pesticide residues in foods will also be happen if you misuse, leads to the unsafe pesticide levels in vegetables, fruits and grains. And if the consumption of the contaminated food, they can harm the consumer, especially the children as well as pregnant women. They can affect by this consumption of the contaminated food. And if violated food safety, it is the violation of the food safety norms if you use the extremely or high dose of the insecticide. And basically why safe handling and what are the plant pesticide is important. As I discussed, the safe handling of the plant pesticide is extremely important for the protecting human health and environment, as well as your crop and beneficial organism. Here are the we will discuss the some point that will explaining why it is the essential. Basically, they can protect the human health, and if you avoiding the poisoning, then direct exposure they can cause the acute or the chronic health issues such as skin irritation, nausea, breathing problem, lungs problem. They can also create the cancerous cells, as well as they can prevent the residues ingestion. If improper handling, they can lead to the pesticide residues on food, leading to the health risk upon the consumption. It can protect the application as well as workers also. Those who mix the lead or load or apply the pesticide, or the workers, they are the directly contact with the pesticide, are at the highest risk without proper safety practices. And the environmental protection, it also affect your environment. If you not prevent properly, then water pollution, runoff from the pesticide can contaminate the rivers, lakes, groundwater, ponds, etc. If you use higher dose or without any recommended dose of the pesticide, it can create the contamination over there, and reduces the soil degradation, as well as overuse or spoilage of the they can kill the beneficial microbes in the soil, and it can also reduce the soil fertility. It avoid the air contamination. If volatile pesticide are using nearby area of your hometown or your residence, and if the drift during the spraying, it can spread through the air after non-target areas also. And safety, third point is safety and non-target organism. It can also kill the protects beneficial insect like bees, butterflies, as I discussed in previously slide, and predators as well as the pest. They can harm the non-selective or the carelessly applied pesticide, and it can preserve biodiversity. If incorrect use can also harm the birds, amphibians, as well as aquatic other organisms. They can kill if you not properly use pesticide, or if you use incorrect doses of the pesticide. And prevention of the pest residence is basically the delay the resistance build up, and the compliance with the laws and regulation. If you use the high dose of the pesticide, it is a violation of the laws of the many countries have the strict regulation on the pesticide use and safe handling. They can ensure the compliance, and they can avoid the legal legal action also. And but you have to use the legal dose or right dose of the pesticide, and if you require the recommended dose basically. And dear learners, we will taking a small break. After that we will meet again. Thank you.
प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने।
सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो,
धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोच से
और जागे,
मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने। परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर दुनिया में इसके केंद्र बात।
कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने, स्वयं बने, हम
Dear learners, welcome back once again, and we had discussed about the pesticide definition, what are the toxic chemical types of the pesticide, and how they can affect our human health, our environment, or other surrounding area if we use the higher dose of the insecticide, pesticide as well. And we had all discussing on it, and now we will discuss about the toxicity classification. The color chart has been given by the WHO. I think you all are aware about the, if you are purchasing any kind of pesticide from the market, and you will find the so many types of the color chart indicator over the containers, and basically they are the giving the indication of the level of the poisons and level of the toxicity over there. The red level of the indicator give the high toxicity of the that chemical, or you can say the red level that will be the extremely toxic, and yellow color chart or yellow color sign are giving the highly toxic sign. And if you will find the blue color chart, that is moderately toxic, and green color indicate that it is slightly toxic, but 100% not safe, but basically it is a safer zone to apply the area. And the safe application of the pesticide, how you will use the safe application of the pesticide in your crops, your garden or other area. The pesticide are that is important tools for the protecting crops of the increasing yield as well as, however, they can, the safe application is a very critical and very important to protect the workers, consumers as well as your environment. The emphasis should be given to the proper handling, personal protection and application technique, and post application technique care should also be there. And first of all, understanding these measures that will be the helps to minimize the farmers protection risk as well as while effectively managing the pesticide. So if you have to use right amount of right methods and right time. And right amount, we will discuss on the right amount, how you can use the right amount. You have to apply the recommended dose that has already mentioned on your or label on the container, and overuse that will leads to the toxicity and pest resistance, as well as they can reduce residual effect, as well as it is harmful to your environment and your crop, your other soil condition also. And you have to understand the result if effective control and pest is also. And the right method, you have to select the appropriate application technique like foliar spray, soil drenching method and seed treatment also. And you have to ensure even a uniform coverage, and you have to calibrate your equipments to prevent under or over application. And right time is also very important. If you are applying the pest are most vulnerable, and if you prefer the early morning or late afternoon to minimize the drift and evaporation also. And you have to avoid spraying during rain time or strong wind condition. And the importance of the proper application is very high, because you have to maintain the recommended dose. If you use the overdose or underdose of the pesticide, these are the harmful. You have to follow the label rates that has already indicate on the container, and you have to use the recommended dose as per the label. They can prevent the high phytotoxicity, pest resistance and environmental pollution. And they can measures the accurately, use the calibrated tools to mix the right concentration. You have to avoid estimating by eyes or just lump sum type of measuring, and you have to avoid habitual overuse. Like more pesticide does not mean that it is more protective for your crops. It often causes more harm to your crop, your environment or other condition. And it maintain the efficacy and longevity to your chemicals. And application of the pesticide of the target point also, basically you have to focus on the affected plant or areas where you want to exactly spraying. First of all, identifying the hot spot of the pest activity before spraying. You have to avoid blanket spraying unnecessary when using spraying, and you have to use low drift nozzle, proper pressure, and avoid the windy condition, and you have to ensure chemical that do not reach non-target plants or people or animals unnecessary, and reduce the waste and risk. You have to save pesticide that protect the beneficial insect and prevent the contamination, and importance of the proper application. If you are applying or no spraying near the water bodies, basically you have to very careful and maintain at least 10 to 15 meters buffer from the wells, ponds, canals, as well as lakes also. Prevent the contamination of drinking water and aquatic ecosystem, and choosing the right pesticide, it is also important. If you are going to spray the pesticide, you have to use and certified, basically registered and certified pesticide by the state agriculture department or other ICR or other agencies, and you have to match the pesticide to specific pests and crops, and you have to prefer eco-friendly or biopesticide when possible, and rotate the pesticide classes to prevent the resistance of the insect pest or diseases, and you have to check expiry date as well as label of the colors, as I have told earlier, and always wear the protective gears like PPE kit. You have to they can protect your skin or skin absorption, inhalation, and other means, and always wear during the mixing, spraying, or cleaning the equipments. And after that you have to clean the PPE after every use, never reuse contaminated gears, and PPE is mandatory, not optional, means you have to wear proper PPE kit when you are using or applying the pesticide. And safe mixing of the pesticide is very important. You have to mix the quantity needed as per the guidelines or as per the recommended dose of the application, and you have to avoid spilling while mixing, and use of the separate equipments for mixing, and not you don't use any kitchen utensils for mixing or stirring of the pesticide, and you have to keep the children's or animals away from the mixing area. Always add pesticide to water, not the other way around. And the next is the never use bare hand pesticide. You don't use any bare hand or naked hand without any gloves or the any other protective measures, and use the detected measures like cup, spoon, or you can avoid the touching sprayers tank over there, and wash hand thoroughly after the handling containers. Dear learners, you have to use clean water for applying or spraying the pesticide. Use filtered non-contaminated water for dilution. Dirty water may react with the pesticide, or they can clog your nozzle of the sprayer, and you can avoid hard water for the certain pesticide. They can reduce the effectiveness of the chemicals, and you have to ensure water sources is not near the drinking water system. No eating, drinking, or smoking when you are using the pesticide. Basically hands may carry the pesticide residues. so that you have to prevent accidental ingestion or inhalation, and you have to maintain strict hygiene during and after the pesticide work. You have to set separate area for break, and you have to away for the pesticide zones for sitting and taking rest. And never blow the nozzles by blowing or without they can inhalation or even small pesticide particles. They can be the dangerous for your health. So you can use the brush or pin to unclog the nozzles, and you have to wear proper mask while cleaning the nozzles, and replace the faulty nozzles if possible, and instead of the blowing into them. And first aid kit is also important to protect your skin contact. Wash immediately with the soap or water if you have accidentally touched any kind of insecticide nakedly. And eye exposure, you have to rinse your eyes for at least 15 minutes with the clean waters if it contact with the pesticides. And inhalation moves to fresh air, and if you inhale or accidentally inhale, you have to move in fresh air and choose a right cloth for washing. And don't induce the vomiting unless direct by the labels. And you have to basically after the using equipments, cleaning is also very important. To rinse the sprayer after every use, as the clean the tanks, nozzle, hose, and the filters as well, because the pesticide particles may clog the nozzles, so that you have to clean with the fresh water. And triple use rinse method is also applicable. Fill the tank 1/4 of the water and shake sprayer out, and repeat 2 or more times to rinse the tank, as well as dispose of the rinse water in the field away from the bodies. And disposal of the empty containers is also important. That is the triple rinse before disposal. And rinse the empty containers 3 times to remove all residues, and use the rinse water in the same spray tank, and do not waste it here and there, because water and soil may get contaminated if you thrown here and there. And crush and destroy that empty containers, because crush and puncture containers to prevent the reuse. Never reuse for food, water, or other storage purpose, because it contain the pesticide residues in the container. And personal hygiene after application is also very important. You have to immediate wash your hand, face, arms, and your exposed skin area thoroughly with the soap as well as water. And it can take the full bath, and there the risk of the chemical contact to minimize. And change the cloth immediately. Remove and wash of the protective clothing, spraying from other laundry, and store the PPE kits, spray gears to the separate area, not in the living quarters. And never delay hygiene. You have to use immediately after application. Why safe storage is important, dear learners? It is a very important to use or safely storage of the insecticide, pesticide separately. You have to first of all protect the people. You have to prevent accidental exposure to your family members, especially children and elderly person, and it reduce the chances of the inhalation, skin contact, or some ingestion also. You have to protect by the animals. From farm animals may ingest or knock over the pesticide containers. Even a small amount can be fatal for that animals, and if the leakage containers, they can contaminate your soil, water body, air. They can harm the biodiversity, and you have to use separate or locked storage room for or locked boxes for the storage of the pesticide. You should be the dedicatedly only for the pesticide. To it must be well built, waterproof and lockable area for the storage purpose, and you have to prepare outdoor storage if possible. You have to store away from your kitchens, wells, animal sheds, and where children's not plays over there, and always lock storage area. Don't leave it open, because it may be accidentally opened by or touched by the children's or other animals and pets also, and display warning sign over there the containers, like poison, dangers, or like other labels that can alerts or indicate there. And you have to also educate your family members about the risk of that pesticide, and never transfer pesticide into water, food bottles, and you never basically risk of the accidental consumption of very high. And you have to also resistance with to the leakage, corrosion of the pressure also, and you have to use the important label information like dose, expiry, and first aid for the storage. And you have to label clearly, especially the outer label is if the outer label is damaged of the container, then you have to write through the written hand and make a sign for the and restriction, and use the red, black, or other symbols like cross sign or other type of sign that will be the clearly visible on the containers. And basically no storage with the food or water. Dear learners, never keep the pesticide in kitchen, storerooms, or the fridge or other food items with the pesticide, nearby the pesticide, and the keep minimum 10 meters away from the food or water storage area. And you have to avoid shared containers. Do not store the pesticide with seeds, fertilizers, or grains, or other food items nearby that. And you have to avoid humid, hot, or damp places, like heat and moistures. They can cause the chemical breakdown or explosion also. That's you have to avoid the humid area or very hot area for the storage area. And you have to ensure proper ventilation. They can fume buildup, and they can keeps the room safe for the occasional entry. If you use that room for entry, then you have to ensure proper ventilation over there. And no direct sunlight or fire sources enters to the storage area. And you have to store shade area. Basically the electric socket or heaters should not be nearby there, and you have to never store the insecticide, fungicide in the basically along with the herbicide, because the risk of the contamination or wrong application may leads to your crop damage, because if you a small mix up they can damage your entire field, because if you want to apply the insecticide and the by default you select the herbicide, then your entire field may damage by the application of the herbicide. And the color code is also important, as I have already discussed for the application. So the coming on the conclusion for the today's session is first of all, handle carefully. The all pesticides should be handled very carefully. You have to avoid spills or misuse or unsafe mixing, and you have to apply proper application of the right amount, right method and right time, and you have to apply target area only or affected area only to avoid the overuse. You have to protect yourself, others, as well as non-target organism also. Dear learners, the storage safely is also important, as I have discussed and you have to maintain proper records and label carefully, and keep away from food, water, children's and other livestock also, and you have to follow the instructions given on the containers, like dose, application and first aid, and you have to understand the toxicity level and warning symbols of the that insecticide. And as I have already discussed about the wear the protective gears like PPE kit, you have to they can protect your skin, your eyes, your lungs or other body parts to the direct contact, and wash your hand after immediately after you use, and they can prevent the unnecessary or exposure to touch or eating by touching your face, and you can maintain these kind of proper balance, so that you can effectively use the pesticide without any kind of accident. So dear learners, hope this session find you very informative. Thank you very much for your understanding of this session. Thank you very much. Thank you, dear learners.